What is up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new video. I just want to do a quick update. I've been gone for a while, and where have I been? What have I been doing? Well, I've been slightly dying for the past about 2 months, ever since the Yeti 100. Yeah, I've been on the struggle bus, just kind of getting my butt kicked by asthma attacks and sicknesses, and then another asthma attack, and yeah, so it's been a it's been a long it's been a long 2 months since the Yeti 100. The Yeti 100 went awesome. I'm still working on a video on that. I haven't had much motivation just because I've been feeling like such like crap and work has been crazy. I started a new job and I've been working my freaking butt off moving or going back and forth from New Hampshire to Kansas City, and I was working like 12 hours, 14 hours a day, and actually sleeping in a shop that we were trying to build up and build the infrastructure. So I've been going nonstop, and it's been really taking a toll on me. And I've been getting my, I've been getting my ass kicked for the past 2 months. So I'm trying to reel everything back in, trying to get back into training, and trying to get my health back in check. I think I have everything back up and running. I have been running. Um, but when I was having the problems with asthma and I was having problems with sickness, it was a lot of work to get a couple miles in, and I had to take a couple weeks off completely from any workout, anything, just because I was gasping for air and it felt like my diaphragm was seizing up. So I might have pushed it a little bit hard, a little bit too quick. So I'm doing a slow roll back into running and roll back into working out. But we are moving our way back in nice and slow, but I'm almost to the point where I'm going to be able to actually get back into training, get a really good and base build up during these winter months, and then hit it hard in the spring. So that's where I've been. To dive a little bit deeper into it, after the Yeti 100, I had an awesome run under 24 hours. It was a new PR. It was an awesome freaking run. It rained for freaking 50 miles of 100 miles of that run. Almost half of the actual field dropped out, and it was just a freaking slaughter fest. And that whole run was a whole slaughter fest. Everybody was dropping out because they were saying they were having hyperthermia. I was shaking for most of it. I missed I forgot to pick up my headlamp. There was a lot of things that happened on that race. So be ready for that video because that one's going to be a fun one. I didn't get much video from it just because it was raining so much that entire time. There wasn't much I could actually do, but I got some really good stories out of it, and I got to go into that weird, like, cold pain cave that I haven't been in since the military, or that I haven't been in for a very long time, and I got to see what I was actually made out of. So that was a great time, a great day of suffering at the Yeti 100. After that, I took 2 weeks off completely. I was feeling pretty good, and then I started getting some asthma issues start popping up. I had shortness of breath. Um, it felt like I couldn't get a full breath in and hold it in. I didn't have COVID. I didn't have anything else. It was purely asthma. Um, I went to the VA. I actually ended up going to the emergency room because I waited too long because I'm a stubborn idiot. So that's one tip. If you guys are starting to feel sick, just go to the doctors. It's completely worth it. I waited a little bit too long, and they put me on some steroids and a regular asthma inhaler called albuterol. So I was going through that treatment. Um, I did have asthma when I was a kid. It was mostly based off of like my allergies. So it was always allergy induced asthma. So it wasn't that bad, not exercise induced. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot worse asthma than I do, but for some reason, after this 100 miler, it just completely kicked my ass. So when I was a kid, I would like sleep over at my friend's house that have cats, and I'd come back and I would have to go to the ER and do like a dual neb, a nebulizer, and take a little bit of treatment after every time I slept over at my friend's house that either smoked or that had cats. So I didn't think it was a big issue. It was never on my medical records. The army never knew that I actually had that because my mom kept it off my medical records. So I went through my whole pretty much adult life in my time in the army without having asthma issues. It wasn't until this time for some reason, and it's for some reason sometimes asthma just pops up in your when you're a little bit older again, which absolutely sucks. So I started getting those feelings like I did. I knew exactly what it was just because I remember when I was a kid and I waited a little bit too long, had to go through like a nebulizer and some medicine, and then after about 2 weeks, it started feeling a lot better. At that time, I started shifting over to a new job where I was building a mushroom farm in Kansas City, and I was working my butt off, so I was really stressed doing that, working really long hours, and then actually sleeping in the mushroom shop. So I was kind of struggling with the asthma in Kansas. That was 3 weeks out of the Yeti 100, and when I started going through that protocol of, the albuterol inhaler and then the steroids, I started feeling a little bit better. I was in Kansas for about 3 weeks building up the mushroom farm. And then I went back home. And while I was in freaking Kansas City, my kids got RSV and they were just getting over it. And I came back, and right when I got back, my oldest daughter coughed directly into my face, as kids do. I was giving them hugs and kisses because I miss them, and then she coughed in my face, and I got probably what it was RSV, and it hit me hard. Just coming off of the 100 miler, my body was still a little bit beat up because it didn't get it fully recover because I was stressed out, because I wasn't sleeping that well in Kansas City and I was having the asthma issues. So that RSV just totally destroyed me. I got super, super sick. The asthma, the asthma was like pretty much okay. And then with RSV, you get a cough and you get like, or at least in adults, at least in me, I got like a cough. I got like felt like shit, and then I had a fever, like 101 fever, for 3 days. It would come and it would go, and it would come and it would go. So I was taken out for about a week because of that RSV. I got done with the RSV, and I was getting ready to go to Kansas again to work on some sales for the mushroom farm, and then freaking the asthma came back. So I'm back in Kansas City away from my family after recovering from RSV, and then I get a big asthma attack or a big asthma issue again. So I go back to the VA in Kansas City, their emergency room, and they put me on double steroids. So I'm on an inhaler steroid and an oral steroid, and then I'm doing the albuterol freaking inhaler again. So now I'm on double steroids, just recovering from a asthma attack and RSV, and I'm going back for a second round of freaking asthma. So it's been a long freaking road of asthma and sickness and working and stress and all this crap. I'm back in New Hampshire, back with my family, trying to recover, trying to like, take it a little bit easy. I got a little bit of a cough left, but it's feeling a lot better. I can run without like any issues. I can work out. I've been hitting the gym a lot more, getting back into sorry, getting back into weightlifting and slowly introducing some running. I probably I'll load up all my runs that I've been doing ever since the Yeti 100. I think 3 weeks out of the Yeti 100, I got about like 20 to 30 miles, and those are rough miles, man. If people were at that Anytime Fitness in Kansas City, they probably thought I was like dead. I was only running on the treadmill just so I had a controlled environment. Um, People probably thought I was like a freaking leopard or something crazy, like some infected person just running on the treadmill. But it was only I wore a mask, and it was only asthma. I only wore a mask just so I wasn't coughing on people, even if you're covering your mouth or whatever. But I was running on the treadmill, and I could only kind of do short breaths, and I only could only get like 2 to 5 miles, and then I pretty much just gave up after a while and just started going back into kickboxing on the bag and weightlifting. So I've been weightlifting a lot more and trying to get in what runs I could. So probably 3 weeks out, I've got 20 to 30 miles, probably like 20 to 25, and then the next week I got like 25 to 30 miles. This week I'll probably hit around like 40. So slowly reintroducing running, figuring out what I can do with my fitness, and then I'll probably try to start hitting up higher mileage next week. I'll probably move into an actual build up. I might try to do like a marathon build up, try to get a little bit more speed, a little bit more strength in my legs moving into the springtime. Um, Probably around January. So I have a lot more time to recover and make sure I don't do it too quick and cause a different injury or get sick again. But, we're slowly working this out and slowly trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out some more ways that I can put out more content on my channel just because I want to shift more into not just running topics, but also lifestyle topics and everything like that. Just the concept of consistency, of taking all the failures of life or taking all these like risk in life, and even if you fail, like I do multiple times, I fail over and over and over again. But once you start loving those fails, that's when you get the best. The best freaking lessons are from failures. Basically everything in my life I failed at. The army I failed at before I went to selection. I got recycled for no reason. They just held me back. So I sat in hold for freaking 6 weeks for no reason. In Ranger school, I recycled 2 times. So I had to do that freaking 3 times. You know, um, College I failed at. I had to do that 3 times. All these things, ultramarathon, I got absolutely destroyed. It took 34 hours. I had to pretty much walk the entire time. All these failures, all these struggles are what I learned the most from in my life. So that's really what I want to kind of morally shift into, is trying to motivate people or trying to show people not to be afraid of failure, because that's how you learn the best lessons and that's how you push yourself up. There's this concept that I've been thinking about of like failing up. If you don't fail, you're never gonna freaking learn. And the more you fail, the more you're gonna push yourself up. Even if you're getting dragged by your face and, thumping your head up the stairs, you're still going up and you're still learning. And I'm trying to take all these lessons in my life of what I've done, because I've done a lot. I honestly, sometimes it seems like I'm pessimistic about what I've done, but I've done a lot in my life and I've achieved a lot. But I like to focus on what I've learned through these failures. So hopefully we can not take these. So hopefully what I can show people is not get held back by, fear or held back by past failures, but take those as achievements, take those as lessons learned, and push it towards that ultimate goal or that big mission that you may have. It doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you're consistent, it's going to pay off. So that's where we're at. I've been kind of dying for 2 months, but we're getting healthy. We're back to running. I can actually breathe when I'm running, and the content's going to be coming back. I'm going to try to figure out some other ways to actually get in some content while my running is kind of slowed down a little bit. I'm going to try to maybe do some live streaming in the mornings before work, and then also get back up with these running videos, because I still have the Yeti 100 and then all the lessons learned from the Yeti 100, and then some lessons that I learned when I was dying and running with asthma. So if you could like, follow, and subscribe, it really helps the channel. I'll leave you with this. If you have a goal, if you have a mission, don't start it in the new year. Start it right fucking now. Consistency is king, and keep grinding away. I have to be more consistent with these videos. I've been pretty consistent with my training, and I've been getting better and better at ultra marathon and running in general. But I have to be consistent if I want to reach out to more people and motivate them to be grinders like the rest of us. So let's go. Let's slowly chip away, become average savages, and get out there and fucking grind. Let's go. Be consistent.